So here we're looking at some correspondence that had to go out. Because as you know, there's another attack, another hate crime, more malice. So the opposite of good faith is malice. And nothing these monsters, these mindless monsters, these brainless beasts are doing is of good faith. This is foreign diplomat Victoria Ann, war crime survivor, educating all public servants of non-negotiable duties, obligations, and responsibilities to provide culturally sensitive, ethnic origin-informed support to our people whom we are satisfied, beyond reasonable doubt, are targeted, there should be a comma there, criminally harassed, robbed, raped, railroaded, persecuted, denied access to service, protection, justice, and hated without cause, also known as systemic oppression and discrimination. Our people identify as disadvantaged, as in need of perpetual protection because of our race and national origin. The same as Jesus, a man whose birthday, well, alleged birthday, and death, right, Christmas and Easter, that's what that's all about. Most, if not all of you celebrate. Jesus, a man who expressed his status as a foreign ambassador, prophesied we would be hated and persecuted. Here is an edifying lesson as to why every public servant, in fact, has no authority, as you persons identify as fictitious names: mayor, chief, police, sergeant, constable, inspector, peace officer, the crown, the public, a justice, the justice, this court, the court, clerk of the court, justice of the peace. The list goes on, doesn't it? Our people are to be served, respected, protected, and supported without discrimination, no exceptions. We are satisfied beyond reasonable doubt, public servants, Mr. Eby, Miss Sharma, Miss Wheeler, Mr. Howe, Mr. Baines, Mr. Duffy, Mr. Murdoch, Mr. Murray, Mr. Walsh, Mr. Duquette, Mr. Bevington, Mr. Avails, and Mr. K are guilty beyond reasonable doubt of willful blindness. In honor of affirmative action afforded to our disadvantaged men and women, the attached cancelled warrant will be stamped received by fictitious entity Saanich Police employee. Well, it's pretending to be an inspector. No later than the end of June 26th. The scanned copy PDF will be sent to this email address to confirm you can follow simple, straightforward, common sense, lawful directions. Mr. Baines, you fictitious claimant are a liar. You are obligated to report yourself to persons acting as BC Law Society. You are commanded to withdraw all false allegations before the end of June 26, 2025. Well, that's today. You are commanded to provide a written apology to my honorable spouse and myself, whom you did willfully, knowingly, intentionally threaten, menace, assault, torture, defame, degrade, and defile for over 20 minutes on June the 12th. You like to tell lies on the record, do you, Mr. Baines? You like to lie? You like to fabricate evidence? You like to commit perjury? You like to threaten, to kidnap, and unlawfully confine an innocent woman? You are commanded to file a full stop to this malicious prosecution with persons acting as criminal registry clerk. You are commanded to forward scanned copy paperwork of these lawful demands to this email address no later than the end of the day. Today, June 26th. Yours very truly, all cultural rights reserved, foreign diplomat Victoria Ann. And of course, what is written by the truth tellers is the truth. Those who come from the truth listen to the truth. You, however, are not. You're not of life. You're not of the living. And that's why you will not listen. And how many times have we spoken to you? How many times? Look at this. The beast has a merry-go-round of madness. Yeah, it's a Ferris wheel of filth and fraud. Paperwork. Oh, look, it's got a stamp on it. A red stamp received. Oh, December 19th, is that right? No, criminals can't compel performance with threats and menaces. So this is the stamp that they use. Right, that's all they fucking do all day. And here's the council warrant. Will only the living have jurisdiction, only the living have standing, only the living can provide lawful directions. See if we can get into this without too much trouble, because if there's too much trouble, we'll just... So the road is narrow and it's straight. The road of life is narrow and it's straight. It's a straight way. It's not twisted. Everything twisted is toxic. So a king, or the king, well, we all know that that thing isn't a king, cannot confer a favor, which would be a privilege, a right, or an authority to anyone, on anyone, to the injury and damage of others. And isn't that odd that its agents, its actors, that's all they do all day long? Oh, the king is subject to the law? Is that right? Oh, the king is nothing else than law in action. Really? Oh, the king ought to be under no man, but under God and the law, because the law makes a king. The king ought to judge only according to law. The king cannot deceive or be deceived? What the fuck is going on here? The king cannot expel a subject against his will from the kingdom. The king cannot do evil or injustice. Wow, talk about deluded, eh? Talk about just absolutely fucking delusions. Fucking delusions of grandeur by the fucking grotesque, the gatekeepers. So we know the truth. Fictitious action, fictitious name, fictitious plaintiff. And that just described every single person acting as a government agent. And the government, which is fictitious. And all the so-called public service agencies, all fictitious. A fraud on the court. That's their business. Fraud on the court. Every day, all day. Fictitious name. Fictitious plaintiff. Well, the one making the claim, I mean, that's the plaintiff, isn't it? The accuser would be the plaintiff. So this beast from Kamloops, the cursed Mr. Carroll, is a person appearing in a writ of possession. Right? It was the petitioner in a suit, but who in reality doesn't exist, or who is ignorant of the suit and of the use of his name in it. It's a contempt of court to sue in the name of a fictitious party. So CIBC, you see, this is exactly why we've got it written multiple times that these fictitious entities, these corporations, which don't actually exist other than on paper, can't move anything into a court, a legitimate court. They can't do it. But they do it fucking all day long. This is the original. I dropped off on December the 3rd, 2019. Reporting crime. I reported the crime in progress. I reported it. And within 3 weeks, I went and picked up this entire package of papers reporting crime against myself and my family because we were intentionally, maliciously denied. And see right here, it's CIBC. That's the petitioner. And my family and I are having to respond to the reprobate rats. Affirmative action programs. Subsection 1 does not preclude any law, program, or activity that has its object in amelioration of conditions of disadvantaged. Well, we're hated because of our race, because of our national and ethnic origin. That's where the hate comes from. Would you like some more proof that we are exactly who we tell you we are? The Supreme Law of Canada, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Oh, so this fiction is founded upon the principles that recognize the supremacy and the rule of law. Yeah, no, your actions prove what your words mean nothing. Well, and of course, above on the piece of paper is to report crime. That's the whole testimony. Here now is the final conclusion: to fear the Most High and obey His commands, and this is everyone's duty. There were dozens. There are still dozens of criminal code offenses that they did commit. But who cares, right? Just nothing but fucking spew. They don't follow any of this. Supreme Court ruling: a corporation cannot practice law nor hire qualified lawyers to carry on the business of practicing law for it. And this right here is why. Because it's fictitious. See? How many witnesses do you need? You need 2 or 3 saying the same thing. And so now we know why these persons identifying as the judge is not the court, because both the judge and the court are fictitious. And that's why this judgment would come out. They can't sit as a judicial officer because of the governing principle of administrative law. They're prohibited from substituting their evidence, testimony, record, arguments, and rationale for that of the agency. They're prohibited from substituting the judgment for that of the agency. Well, an agency means there's agents. And so we, the people, are the principal. Righteous people are, not the wicked. The wicked need to be governed, the righteous don't. And that's what the 10 Commandments are about. You have to govern the wicked. See, the foundation right here. It's all here. There it is again. This whole... They don't even have names spelled right in this fucking bullshit document. So a fictitious entity, if a fiction is going to excuse a living woman, you cannot fucking compel performance. You don't exist. And yet look what they've done yet again. Because they're what? They're monsters. Oh, so the Law Society, that's another fiction, said that the liars are to lie to another fiction on behalf of their client? Why would you want to do something like that? That means that you're a malicious witness. That means you're fabricating evidence. That means you're committing perjury. Oh, but that's all okay here in Canada. That's all okay here. Abuse of power, that's what they're doing. It's interesting that they're both their private and public life are allegedly subject to scrutiny and comment. So even the beast has a certain understanding of that you gotta be blameless to even be fucking sitting in that chair. You understand this, don't you? (12 U.S.C. 83, no bank shall make a loan. It's the law. If they lend anyone money, that fictitious entity broke the law. So what is this beast talking about? Your loan. Do you see the date on this letter? Do you have any idea how long this has been going on? And look what's been done to innocent, righteous people. And these thieves, they hate their own soul. This is the epitome of violence right here. Just nothing but fucking lies. Because they're looking to steal. or what they're not owed, because that's how they make their living, by gaming, by extortion, by threats and menaces. And they're calling it legal action, fraud on the court. Oh, and apparently my family, our family, has to pay for their crime, the cost of foreclosure. We must be in receipt of the amount owing within the time period set out above. So who came up with this time period set above? So from September the 26th to October the 8th is what? It's not even 2 weeks. So this puke just came up with this bullshit and fucking sent it out, and everybody's fucking okay with it. Obviously everybody's okay with this. Vexatious litigants. That's what they're doing. Myth Nevin, the heavy tactile liar. Oh, so now you're assuming and presuming that we, the living people, are just like you. Well, let's see here. We don't rebut, I guess we rebuke. Because seriously, who the fuck do you think you are? In order for an agent to engage with our people, they have to have a contract. There has to be a contract that meets the 8 elements of a contract, or there is nothing that allows them to speak to us, to engage with us, to come after us, to call us, to come to the fucking door. Everything outside common law is a contract. That is exactly why they push this fucking paperwork in front of you. Because they need joinder. They're necrophiles. There's a sacrifice happening in the room. The room is filled with rats, and the rats are involved in a sacrifice. You've been in there, haven't you? You've seen what goes on? Who are they dealing with? The living or the dead? Oh, so unless you have lawful excuses for noncompliance? Well, even if you have lawful reasons, they can't hear. They can't hear Section 19, Section 131, Section 137, 167, 319, 380. They can't hear their own rules that they wrote. They can't hear their own fucking rules. Well, the offer to contract is void because it's fucking based entirely on fictitious names, a fictitious action. You don't have fucking any injured men and women. You have no property injured or fucking harmed. I'm the woman. I'm the woman irreparably harmed by all of this. These are the days of Noah. This is it. The Law Society of British Columbia? Really? No. Oh, they have a duty to withdraw? Well, then why haven't they done that? If it's a duty is you have to. Like you have a duty to eat every day so you don't, unalive yourself. You'd be neglecting your life if you didn't eat. You have a duty to sustain your life. And look how fucking simple this is. You refuse to put the information before this fictitious entity, the court. You just write a letter to this fictitious entity, clerk of the court. It's that fucking easy. Oh, source of power? Like the power my spouse gave to me to make sure that what happened to us didn't happen to us, and they just ignored all that paperwork, but their fucking paperwork allows them to commit continuous acts of fucking outrageous to the standard of decency, fucking violence against an innocent woman that they fucking hate. Without cause. Hated without a cause. But somehow their fucking paperwork has force and effect. But Jack's will for the rest of my life, they just completely fucking ignore it. His legacy, his honor, they just fucking shit all over it. That's just how fucking simple this is. The thieves hate their own soul. What purpose would they fucking have in life at all? And they're fucking thick as thieves. Well, it's a fucking wall. Like it's a wall of thieves. Those who hate their own soul are as thick as thieves. They fucking hate themselves. They hate life. If you have to fucking go around and steal from your neighbor, that's why that worm isn't gonna die when you get where you're going. 2 books to have a name written in. The book of life, and then that other book, the book of the dead, and it's the dead who are judged. They're not even thinking about their own end. They're just so fucking blinded by fucking greed and violence and bad faith and malice and fucking fraud. The foundation of their entire life is built on fucking fiction.